Welcome, good people. Welcome to another episode of Live at 5. I'm your man, SRD. And again, my man, Big Muzz, is still busy. Hopefully, he'll be back either tomorrow or Friday. If not, more than likely next week. Gonna wait until we get some more people before I really truly begin. But as usual, we start off with our mission, which is to uplift fallen humanity, one person, one neighborhood, one city, one person, one family, one neighborhood, one city, one state at a time. So we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna hold out until we get some more people online. Okay, let's get to it. Feel a little hoarse today. Now, you know what it's all about. It's all about being able to change the way that we as a people see ourselves and change the way we are being seen by others. As the people, the indigenous people of this land of Morocco, we are the original people of this land. As I've said on other occasions, we've been misled to believe that we are not, and that we were brought here by who we now know as the colonizers, who utilize the black and white system to create an illusion. And that illusion is that we are being targeted based on our skin color. This is one of the biggest fallacies that we have to be able to get. We must learn to get past and understand the true reason why we as a people are targeted. We are not targeted because of our skin color. We're not targeted specifically because of the label that we use, black. However, black opens up the connection of racism, which we get caught up in thinking that we're battling black and white when it's really us against the U.S. government. That's what it's really ultimately about for us as a people. Our biggest issues are not white people. You hear people talk about it's white people against black people, and it's not that. Because white people here who acknowledge themselves as white don't even know the story, some of them. They don't even know that they're being used as a tool to keep a mindset going that makes us and them believe that it's about superiority based on skin complexion. And what it's truly about is birthright. Our birthright gives us the opportunity to form our own government, which is being Moroccan Moors. That gives us the birthright to be able to form a government which gives us equal rights under our law, not under Americans' law, which is what many years our people have been fighting for equal rights under American law. And we've been wondering why anytime we fight for our rights under American law, we never seem to be able to get our rights fulfilled. The reason being is let's look at this. Let's look at how during election time we as a people have been played to believe that we should vote for the American government because many of our people died for voting rights. Now, let's really think about that. Let's really examine why it was so difficult for our people to be able to vote. And other people really didn't have the problem. They said women had the problem, but for how long? We as a people, those of us who identify as black, still struggle with voting for people that don't actually fulfill your rights. Now, well, that's what they want us to believe. They want us to believe that we are outnumbered by everyone. Well, look at it this way: we won't be outnumbered by anyone once we decide that we're going to form our own government and we're going to vote for ourselves because we don't have any competition against us. However, that's been what they've been telling us, that we are the majority, we are the minority. Sure, you're the minority when you're in a country named America that recruits immigrants of a different persuasion to hold up a standard that was created over 200 years ago, which is to give those whom we call white people the power over those whom we call black people. And as long as we keep saying black and white, we keep giving our power away because we're not identifying ourselves as who we are, and we are not being able to claim our legal rights. That's the most important thing, that we have legal rights as Moroccan Moors that we don't have as black people, African American, or people of color, or even American. This is why it's so important for us to realize and understand what we've been dealing with, where we've been calling it racism. It's really been colonism. We've really been colonized, where we have been the indigenous people of the land of Morocco, and we were colonized by what they now call America, the United States, and we were put under their law, and our laws, our government was pushed to the side. That's why we have so much hardship. That's why when it comes to social issues, we always seem to be at a disadvantage. We always seem to be going uphill but getting pushed back down, or always appear to seem that we have to wait for something to happen. We have to wait for someone to give us permission when we don't have to wait for permission. There's no reason to wait for permission for anyone to reestablish what was already there. When I speak about fulfilling the 43 states, because we already have 7 Moroccan states completed. So now we need 43 more to be at 50 states. Then we form the Empire of Morocco, just as America has the United States of America. The key part component of this is what happens once we do that. We end up with the legal power over America. That's why America wants us to continue calling ourselves black. That's why America wants us to continue calling ourselves American or African American, because America knows who we truly are, but it's time for us to let the world know that now know who we are, and we know that we're not black. Look at what how they play us, how America plays us when it comes to, okay, if you watch the news now and you'll hear Biden is trying to get the black vote. First of all, the black vote. Now, we've been in this country for years, centuries. They still refer to us as the black vote, the black people. Where in on this earth is a land called black? There's about 52 countries in Africa. None of them is named black. No country is named black. So there's there's states here. What state is named black? So we all know that a nationality ties a people to a land and a land to a people. And we are not, I want to make it clear, we are not the kingdom of Morocco, because the kingdom of Morocco used to be a part of the empire of Morocco, but the Sultan at the time decided that he no longer wanted to be the Sultan. So now we just voted in our own Sultan. So it's happening, people, whether we realize it or not. It's happening. We just need to be a part of it and do our parts. And that's, we need a constitution for 47 more states, a constitution. Each state has a constitution and your three branches of government. Remember, the WRC at gmail.com if you're to find out whether your state is one of the Moroccan states. If it's not, get you some people together and start putting it together. And I can't emphasize enough, go to my Facebook page, Peep Game TV, live at 5, and check out 132 AMPAC study session. Check that one out. Once you check that out, it's going to break down pretty much all the stuff that I be talking about. Then you just go from 1 on up to 145, so you'll be up to breast and know why we can no longer continue to identify ourselves as black. And by doing so, we place ourselves at a disadvantage. And it's time for us to be recognized. It's time for us to be a new people as Moroccan Moors that we will never be able to be as black people. We've struggled too long as black people, so we know that that's not really working for us. Even though America try to make it appear that that is working for us and that is who we are, it is something that describes complexion. And in most cases, it doesn't even do that, because when it comes to us as Moroccan Moors, we are so many shades. I'm sure many of you got people in your family from the darkest to the lightest. We are the people who can produce any other ethnicity that we see on earth. As a people, we can produce people who look like everybody else. But very few people can produce people that look like us. So, because we were the first to be on this land and around the world, it's our obligation to reestablish the government for our ancestors, because we inherited that. We inherited being Moors, Moroccan Moors. That's our bloodline. That's our natural heritage. That's our human right to claim our nationality and to reestablish our government. It's our right. So do not allow anyone or anything to deter you from that goal, or to even believe that that goal is not possible, nor or that you shouldn't be pursuing that goal. Of course, you should be pursuing that goal. When it comes to us as a people dealing with the United States government and America, we will always be at a disadvantage as long as we try to infiltrate a government that wasn't designed for us. Our only true way of gaining equality and what we see we can be as a people is to reestablish our own government. That's the only way. That's our only way out. Now, however, we guarantee that we're going to get some pushback. That's no doubt. They're going to push back. And that's where we start utilizing laws. We have treaties called the Peace and Friendship Treaties, the Act of Algeciras. It's different treaties that we have that many of you may not even know about, but soon as you really start getting into the AMPAC study sessions, you're going to learn about these peace treaties, and you're going to learn about what we call the United Nations Charter, the Charter of the United Nations. That's what we're going to have to be dealing with. We're going to be in a position to deal with the United States the way Malcolm X was about to do prior to them assassinating him. When he was getting ready to go to the United Nations and place a claim against America, he was assassinated. Why? Because it was just Malcolm X. He didn't have a state. He was under a religious organization. So a religious organization is not going to do what we needed to do. That's the cause that I emphasize us having a state. See, for far too long, America has been assassinating our leaders. When we had someone stand up to try to give us guidance and help us to pursue what we needed to pursue to regain our equality, America would assassinate them prior to them getting to the goal. Now, this is what makes what we're doing so significant and so powerful, because as a state, all we have to do is, if one person is assassinated, then we vote in another person. So that's what we do. That's the beauty of having a state. Now you get to vote in the people you want, not who Democrats and Republicans decide to give you. Look at it this way: those of you who may consider yourselves Democrats or Republicans, how many times have it been that you voted for people that you didn't really even want to vote for, but you felt it was the best of the two evils? Let's be realistic. The best of two evils is still evil. It still don't benefit you. It still haven't benefit us as a people. As I was saying yesterday, that when we look at how the structure is around us, we are paying for land that is originally ours. We are paying the people who came after us to stay in our land, but they got us paying them like it was their land first. And this is why it's so important for them to keep us calling ourselves Black, African American, people of color, and all of those things. And for them to get us caught up in, certain type of religious rituals, where our religious rituals won't allow us to vote or won't allow us to pursue politics. We have to be mindful of that. It's to our benefit to be mindful of the games that has been played on us throughout the past 2.5 centuries. We've been played, we've been used, and we have the power now to relinquish the power that we've been giving them. We've actually been giving away our power, and not knowingly, unknowingly giving away our power by not knowing who we were. And that ends now. That ends now. That ends with us. Now, when you speak to your children, they don't have to be told you black, you African American, you American. No, you're Moroccan Moor. That's your ancestors. That's your blood right. That's your given right as a human being. That gives you back your human rights. And eventually, we get rid of those civil rights and replace them with our human rights. Once we put the states together, that the states protects us. America don't protect us. The United States government don't protect us. Our own states will protect us from America. That's our only way to change the dynamics of what we've been dealing with throughout these past couple centuries, where we've been told and taught and beaten to our heads that they brought us here on boats. Come on, let's be realistic. Any of you who have ever been on a cruise know that when you go on a cruise, you have to stop certain places to renew with food and things of that nature. And you got all the best of many. You got air conditioning, you got everything. And so imagine the lie of them saying that they brought millions of us here on boats stacked in like sardines with no food or water. And it would have taken 6 months. And you go on a cruise for a week or two and you still have to stop to re-up on your amenities. They lied to us, people. We have to accept that we've been lied to, that we've been played, and that not just those of us who call ourselves black. White people have been played too. They've been played to a point where they've been thinking that they were above us. No, they're not above us. We are here to live together. It's called the Peace and Friendship Treaty. That means we coexist. However, we don't have to be at the disadvantage. We don't have to continue being at the disadvantage of the United States government. That's our, I want to say, and this is my take on it, that's what's enslaving us, the government, because what do? It takes, it takes. The government gives you nothing. It takes and takes. Look at what happens now in supermarkets. Do you or not have any voting rights when it comes to how high the price is going to go on food? How high the gas price is going to be? Who decide how big the packages are going to be? That does, voting for Biden ain't going to fix that. Voting for Trump is not going to fix that. However, reestablishing the other 43 states will give us the option to start repairing that. Then we can start repairing what has been broken. Then we can start demanding what we want. We don't no longer have to be at an asking position. We can be at a demanding position because we go law to law. And as I said yesterday, any game you play, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, hockey, whatever it is, you have to have equal amount of players for each team. We've been at a disadvantage because we haven't had the equal amount when it came to the government. As someone was saying, we always voted for the government, but the majority of the people didn't represent us. So we always felt like we were the minority, and the minority is like the children. You know what I mean? Treating us like the children. It's like being adopted. It's like being adopted, and you have adopted parents. They change your name, but they don't treat you like they treat the rest of their children. They always mistreat you because they know that you're adopted. They know that you're not really their child. So, because we know that we are not really American, because How many times do we have to get it put in our heads that why do we continuously use black rather than American anyway? Because we're really not American. So even when we have used African American, it still doesn't take the place of being American. They have naturalized us as Americans, but they haven't lived up to what they say they would do. America has not treated us the way it treats human beings. It has treated us like an employee. We've been an employee at best, at, like property at worst. Look at it. We got a social security number so that they number us. On your birth certificate, it's all capital letters. They made us their property. Unknowingly, we've been utilized as for profit. What do? Any money we get, we pay bills. Who do we pay the bills to? When you go to pay your public service, when you go to make your mortgage payment, some of you, even when you make your rent, when you go to the banks, when you pay your insurance, all of these places are owned by people outside of you. And that's not fair to those of us because I believe it needs to be equal. I believe they can have theirs, we can have ours. The whole thing that Martin Luther King was fighting for that got twisted was Martin Luther King was fighting for equality, not so much integration. It was about equality, about being treated equally. So, if that's the case, what do we do to be equal? Our own government makes us equal. Our own government that supports us, that protects us, our own states. They got 50 states. We have 50 states. They have America has three branches of government. We get three branches of government. America has the Constitution. We get a Constitution. America filed for their independence from Britain. We filed for our independence from America. That's just makes sense. If you really think about it, it makes sense. I know that it's many of you who still believe that America got your back and that what we're doing is separation. It's separate but equal. That's what it's about. We're still going to share the same land. We're still going to share the same state. We're still going to share things. However, we'll be able to share it with the knowledge and the notion of knowing that we have voted in people who have our best interests, who have put laws together that can combat the laws that America has thrown in place. Now, there's going to be, as I was saying earlier, there's going to be pushback. America is not going to just take it lying down. However, that's not to deter us from doing what we need to do as human beings, as Moroccan Moors. It's our duty. We owe it to our ancestors to reestablish what many of them have died for, to see their ancestors, their descendants, govern themselves and be able to take our rightful place, not only in this land here, but all over the world, take our rightful place as being heads of states, as governing ourselves. With that being said, we've ran out of time again. I appreciate you all for watching. Thank you for your time. And I love you all. Until tomorrow, express love, the way that you would like to receive love. Until tomorrow, peace.